Yes, last Earnestly podcast of 2021. On this episode, we're going to talk about my Christmas 2021, how my family got a COVID scare, hopefully anything that's good, the sad-ass New York Giants, also what to do with Baker Mayfield, and my best bets for this week, and then my son, to close up this whole show today, my son, my oldest son, Eli, 8-year-old, decided to come on the podcast to talk about his holiday season. Also, he previews WWE Day 1, as well as who's better, John Cena or The Rock? We'll shall see. All that more on this episode of Earnestly Podcast, last 121. Let's go. What's up, guys? 2021. Last one of the year. Last Earnestly Podcast of the year. Yeah. So, what's going on, guys? Hope you guys enjoyed your holidays. Hope you guys got everything you wanted. Hope you guys were able to stay safe. Stay safe from COVID. Stay safe from bad members of the family that may annoy you. You know, things of that nature. I hope you guys were able to stay blessed this year. And as you know, these last nearly 2 years have been very challenging for all of us. We're continuing to just move and trying to find a way to just live and to, you know, just to exist in a plane where, like, we're at least able to, you know, be essential human beings and stuff. You know, we can go back and talk about vaccinations and this and that, and we can talk about negative. I know this week we had, like, you know, we had the sad news about John Madden. I've been talking about that. If you follow this feed for the last couple of days, I've been talking about John Madden like left and right, between the Unfiltered podcast I just did 2 days ago, and then, you know, I was appeared on the Huddle podcast, which I post on this feed as well too, and then the Football Sauce podcast, which I just put up earlier today. You know, I opened the show about John Madden because the guy's iconic, you know. And I mean, I have no more words to say at this point, but, you know, a lot of sad things happened this year too, but a lot of happy things also this year too. Number one, we were alive to tell a tale. We were alive to be able to, you know, as long as you're alive to, let's have a job and let's to be able to, you know, do the things we want to do, you know. And, you know, sometimes with a lot of like challenges come opportunity. You know, I got a lot of people in my life who've gone through a lot, but I've found newer and actually better opportunities and to better their lives, and I'm very proud of that. So my holidays was pretty decent, you know. Ended up getting a 4-day weekend because I was out. You know, we had a little bit of sickness in the family. My wife was under the weather most of the weekend, and she's actually still going through it right now as it is. But it was actually pretty good. You know, it was actually pretty good. We we do the usual traditions where, you know, my mother-in-law comes over to the house with with her son, my brother-in-law, and then my family, of course, we come to the house, open gifts and stuff, and that was cool. Went to my wife's work luncheon at a hibachi place, which is fun. We do that pretty much every year with them, you know, whatnot. This time, of course, we didn't take the kids with us. We did want to take the kids with us initially, but we had no unfortunate babysitters, and I didn't want to burden anybody else with you know, hey, can you watch my kids, please? You know, it's you know, it is what it is. We took care of it. The kids were actually okay for the most part. Actually behaved, you know. So that was kind of fun. And then went to my mom's house the rest of the day, and she made a fantastic, you know, Caribbean breakfast / lunch. You know, bacon, codfish, and eggs, and, you know, fruits, and, you know, it's just, you know, of course, my favorite drink of the holidays, sorrel. If you're from Trinidad, you know what I'm talking about. Sorrel. It's fantastic. Tastes great. If you don't know what it is, go check it out. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. I spent the entire day there, pretty much there with the family, with my brother and his kids and his family, and then, you know, when I had a good time. Got home, say about 7, 8 o'clock at night. Got home, and actually a little later than that, I think. But in any case, the kids went to sleep, passed out, and then you know, Sunday, same thing. Repeat. We went to mom's house again. To the kids out there, we went to play basketball in the driveway, whatever. Had a good weekend. As I was saying, my wife was sick all week long. She was sick all week long, pretty much. She's been now, I say, about 8, 9 days now with this cold. We weren't sure if it was COVID or not. And then we find out over the weekend that a lot of our friends that we were around the last 5 or 6 days, you know, also all tested positive for COVID. So all of a sudden I'm like thinking, well, maybe we should get tested. So we waited another day. I ended up calling out of work because she was still under the weather, and my kids. I was at the kids out of school now, so there's no one to watch the kids. then going to school would be a bit of a story. I got on to work, but then like later that day, I started feeling, some, symptoms. Like I started feeling weak, and I started feeling, my head cold. I started feeling stiffly, whatever. And this is kind of was associated with this Omicron variant. That's very contagious, and it's like a minor cold or a middle cold, what we call it. So eventually what happens on Tuesday, I say, you know what, let's go get tested. Screw it. We actually, Monday we actually tried to get tested, and Monday, it was every place we went to, the lines were like over a mile long. We're like, never mind. So we went back home. We decided, you know what, Tuesday we'll try it. We'll go again. When we went Tuesday, get tested. We actually ended up going to the Delray Beach here in South Florida, Delray Beach in Palm Beach County, site. And we waited over 4 hours to get tested. Thankfully, we all came back negative, all four of us, me, my wife, and the kids, which is weird because, we all had the same symptoms that everyone else had. But, I guess vaccines do work. I don't know. Vaccines do work. But, it was a waste. It was really a wasted day, honestly, because that's one of my days off, and we could have done something else. But, being 4 hours in line to get tested for COVID, I got so frustrated. That I almost told my wife, you know what, I'm just going to call work and tell them I got COVID. Because, I have all the symptoms there. Thank God I didn't do that, because it ended up being that I did have COVID. And ended up being that I'm fine. So I was able to work next day and whatnot. And, so it was a very, it was a nice holiday season. We could, I didn't get to see all my family that I wanted to see, especially with this hovering on us. I'm not sure if we had COVID or not. I didn't want to put anybody else at risk. And it turns out another family member, who I didn't get to see this weekend, apparently had COVID now. So, it's been, it's this thing is spreading, man, but, I've been saying all along on this podcast, my stance on this is that it may not be very popular, man, but maybe it's popular on one side of the aisle, who knows? But I think this whole thing, at the end of the day, if you're vaccinated and you're not feeling sick and you have COVID, I don't see the point of I don't see the point of you staying home. If you're able to work. The reality is we can't. I just don't think it's necessary to lock down anymore. Because, and I say this because like a year ago, when we locked down a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, we had options. We didn't have options back then. We didn't have a vaccine. We didn't have all these other things. And the information we had at the time was still minimal. We still did not know what was what. So at the time, we could not, there was, because there was so little information, lockdown was necessary. I get that. Now we have vaccines. We have multiple vaccines. We have, booster shots now. We have masks, whatever. You can do what you want. We have enough information now to at least be able to live your life to some degree. This idea of shutting down again is just too much. It's enough now. It's enough of that, These players in the NFL, all these players in the NFL are, getting COVID left and right. And, I get it. I totally get it. But at the same time, it's like, you're healthy. You don't have symptoms. At the same time, just, keep playing if you can play. Same with the NBA. Same with pro wrestling. If you're able to still do it. And I know this idea, well, you don't want to pass on someone sick. Well, if a person is that, well, first of all, the person is unvaccinated, that's their problem. Because you have options. It's going to sound harsh. I don't care. It's going to sound very harsh, but I don't care about that. You have to like my opinions, and it's okay. We're allowed to disagree on stuff. It's okay. But it's not law to agree with me. But this is my stance. If you're unvaccinated and you're still worried about whether or not to get sick, A, wear a mask, first off. That's where you start, at least, at the very least. But B, get vaccinated. And stop listening to these little yahoos on YouTube and on social media that don't know a damn thing about science. That probably didn't get their GED. Use your brain. It's time to use your brain. It's time to step up and do what's right for yourself and what's right for your family. Do the research. Get vaccinated. Well, couldn't you get COVID while vaccinated? Yeah, of course you get vaccinated. You can still get COVID. But worst case scenario is out of the window now. The numbers do say so. You have to like what I'm saying. It's okay. We'll not disagree. No big deal. But that is what it is at this point. So get vaccinated, number one. Okay? I don't think I should have to stop my life now for someone else who refuses to do the things necessary to take care of themselves. So I unfortunately, and it's gonna sound harsh, and that's okay. Don't sound harsh. That's okay. I'm at a point in my life now where I'm just cut and dry. It's gonna sound harsh, but if I am less sympathetic to people who don't want to take care of themselves and get vaccinated, or at the very least wear a mask around people, I shouldn't have to stop my life or anybody else on matter should stop the life for everybody else who doesn't want to take care of themselves. That's simple. It's just that simple. So wear a mask, do your thing, and and protect yourself and be smart. You make smart decisions here. You know what I'm saying? Make smart decisions here. So, I mean, if you value life as much as you say you do, then do so. Do the things necessary to make sure you continue to value life. Lead by example. Don't say it, do it. So that's how I feel about it. I've been following my best bets every week on social media. I post every Sunday morning. But I'm going to post actually this one now a couple days early because I feel like doing that. I've been crushing it. I had my second 5-0 week in 3 weeks. 2 of the last 3 weeks. I'm 50-30 for the year. I am destroying it right now. Folks, I get a lot of shit about my power rankings every week. I get a lot of shit about my, my picks of the week. But when it's funny, I'll say it again. I said this last year and I'll say it again. Whenever I do good or I'm crushing it, no one says a mumbling word. One says a mumbling word. But they sort of want to shit on me when I'm not doing well. You know what I'm saying? So 50-30, doing well. Respect the pits, obviously. Here are my picks of the week for week number 17 in the National Football League. I'm so glad I'm doing 18 weeks now. It's great. It's funny, I was against it last year because I'm a traditionalist. I'm a traditionalist by nature. So when they said they're going to add a playoff spot for each conference, when they said they're going to add an extra game for, extra game for the season, 17, 18 weeks, 17 games a year, 18-week season. I was like, oh God, is it more shit down? But I gotta be honest with you, this 2 years in, and I'm actually enjoying this. Like, it's actually setting more narratives now, and more ad narratives, and for the season and for the NFL in general. And I'll be honest with you, at my age now, I'm in my 40s. At this point, I just want to be entertained. I'm just being entertained, and if adding one more team per conference is that going to break the bank anyway? If anything, it's added more intrigue now. The only thing I guess I don't like is I miss the idea of having 500. Having a 500 team. 8-8's so gone now, so we don't get to have that anymore. So either you're 9-8, 8-9. That's it. You're not mediocre, little mediocre. You actually are a loser or you're a winner. That simple. I mean, I'm kind of like, I missed the 8-8 thing, but whatever. It is what it is. So here are my best bets for week number 17 as I'm rolling right now. Again, 5-0 last week, 5-0 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago rather. So I like the over of 51 points at Kansas City versus Kansas City going to Cincinnati. The over 51 points. I see a lot of scoring here. Both teams need this game though. Although Cincinnati's really on the verge of clinching the division because right now they have 1-game lead over Baltimore. Although they do also have the tiebreaker, so that technically it's a 2-game lead. So and Baltimore's falling apart, dude. They played the Rams this weekend and they're falling apart. Lamar Jackson may even play this weekend. We'll get to that in a second. Kansas City though needs this game. Like this game smells like a game that would actually smells like a letdown for Kansas City, honestly. But I'm gonna take Kansas City to, I think I'm not ready to pull a trigger on that. Kansas City needs this game because they can't fall into a tie with Tennessee because Tennessee and KC end up tied the same record at the end of the year. Number 1 seed goes to Tennessee. And they can use it too, especially with Derrick Henry on the be returned to the team. So give me 50, instead of taking Cincinnati to win outright, instead of taking all that, I'm going to take the over in this game. I think I can see some scoring here between both teams. Joe Burrow had a fantastic game against Baltimore last week, albeit I'm not going to try to knock because I love Burrow, albeit a really run down Baltimore team and defense especially. But I'll give you the over 51 points here. I like the Niners minus 12 on Houston. Houston with a big win against the Chargers last week, but I see letdown coming up. Niners lost last week against Tennessee. But I do think the Niners, obviously I think they're going to be a playoff team. I think they smell the end of the road. I think once they win this game, I believe if they win this week, that is the win-in situation for them. I believe. In any case, they're going to win this game and they're going to cover 12 points because I think very good Houston win you'll see a bad loss coming up, and I think a bad loss coming here as well. Third game here, I like the Packers. Green Bay Packers at home to cover 6 points over Minnesota. Minnesota's done. They're still technically in the race, but they're done. They're done. They're done. Seriously, they're done. And I think this is the last days of Mike Zimmer. Mike Zimmer's a good coach. I don't want him to get fired, but obviously, you got to blame somebody for the mediocrity and failures of Minnesota. And he did a fall on the sword. That Detroit loss looks bad now, especially when you're a game behind the wild card. Green Bay nearly lost to Cleveland last week. They were literally a Baker Mayfield who was trash. From him having to decide to come down with the last second drive, which ultimately the defense came through from losing that game. So I think Green Bay is still playing for the number 1 seed in the NFC, and they want to make sure they get that bye week. And I think they'll get the also as some revenge for Minnesota too. Since the fact Minnesota did beat them early in the year. So give me Green Bay -6 to win this game in the cover. I like the LA Rams to cover 3.5 points over Baltimore. There's more news today as of this recording that Lamar Jackson did not practice with the team today, and furthermore was limping around the field. The Rams are on fire. They won the last, I think, 3 games now. And they're in first place in the NFC West, and they have something to play for as well, too, to stay on pace with the Packers in case the Packers do slip up. So Rams cover 3.5 points. I think Baltimore's done, unfortunately. And it's not saying so much Lamar Jackson's fault. At some point, it's hard to sustain this, man. You got to get John Harbaugh credit, honestly. It's not a bad coaching job, none of that. It's just this team just was not able to sustain because of the injuries. And this was a problem from the word go before the season even started. So it caught up with them eventually. And I said all year long that was my fear of this team. Is this going to be, could they sustain this? And once lost Lamar, that was it. So, give me the Rams 3.5 points to cover over Baltimore. And finally, NFC East battle here. I'm going to throw up my mouth though, but the Eagles -3 on Washington. Washington's quit, obviously. They've quit. The Eagles are playing much better football. And I think the Eagles, I believe, also are in a position of a win-and-end situation. I'm not sure exactly, but those two teams are on their way to getting some shit done. So as was recording, LeBron James, arguably the greatest player of all time, I probably put number 2 on my list. He is now 37 years old, and he's still playing like a top 3-2 player right in the league. Kind of incredible. It's kind of cool what he's doing. It really is. I wish people would actually appreciate what he's doing. Honestly, you consider his age. He's now 19 years in the league now. He got drafted in 2004. He's been in the top level pretty much every year. He's been relatively healthy throughout his career. Very few dipping points in terms of his health. LeBron James is such a fascinating guy, player, the whole nine. Especially this last couple of years too, as everything around us becomes more polarizing. The discussion points becomes more polarizing. If you say something, you're probably going to be judged for no matter how you slice it, no matter which side of the aisle you're on the argument. Which I think is actually kind of, in some ways, commendable in this case because, one of the things that Michael Jordan got criticized for a lot, especially in the urban community for many years, was that Michael Jordan didn't speak out enough, about, things that, people that mattered, a lot of the criticism towards LeBron James in recent years has been the fact that a lot of people find him unlikable now because of the fact that it's got more political, at least in terms of his voice, which, that can go both ways, in some ways, on one hand, I do appreciate his candor on certain topics. On the other hand, sometimes some things he says, I'll admit that he sounds out of touch, or sometimes he doesn't sound like someone that actually is, should just not say anything at all. Now, I'm someone I've always said that, do you. If you want to speak out about things that matter to you, you have every right. I am not that guy. I am not that, just stick to sports. No. That is not me. I'm someone that is someone who's, half these idiots here that would hear the stuff that say they admire Muhammad Ali. If Muhammad Ali was here today doing the things he was doing back in the 60s, speaking out against the war, for example, speaking out things that matter, you guys would hate half the world would hate him too. LeBron James, it's weird because a lot, especially this year too, we've seen The Lakers are struggling. I think as of this recording, there are 2 games under 500. You know, we have the AD thing. Anthony Davis has not been healthy. Russell Westbrook has been a little bit of a disaster in LA. There's been trade rumors ready about whether or not he'll be there beyond the All-Star break. Who knows? Now, LeBron's playing a high level the last couple weeks, to be honest with you. He's averaging about 30 a game, last 12 games, some of that nature. I don't know exactly the numbers, but it's pretty close to that. But, you know, a lot of the pushback on LeBron these days, you know, even from people that are considered allies, you know, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar lately has been pushing back on him big time. I mean, a couple weeks ago, Kareem came down on him for celebrating a 3-pointer he made to clinch the game against Indiana. And LeBron was doing the dance, you know, I got balls dance, you know, and Kareem, I guess the next day put up an article saying that, or a tweet, I can't remember exactly what it was, but he publicly came out and said something to the effect of that LeBron should know better than that. That stuff is beneath him, if you will. And on one hand, I kind of agree with Kareem, you know, and then you have the thing a few days ago, you know, with this latest Omicron, you know, variant, the latest COVID spread, and LeBron put up a tweet, you know, about last week, you know, the very famous Spider-Man tweet, for example, where everybody's saying, you know, is it you? It was a tweet, you know, saying COVID, flu, or something else, you know, and put on the social media, and Kareem came at him again, saying, you know, he's part of the problem. You know, you need to help in the conversation here. Again, I see his angle, but it's just fascinating now that we see more and more people speak out. You know, I think that a lot of it too is the fact that LeBron James is no longer the clear-cut number one guy. He's still the face of the league, I would say, but it's barely hanging on that. And I think people are starting to see a avenue now where, okay, the king is no longer just the clear-cut king anymore, so we can take some shots here. Players today too, who are playing today, are doing the same thing also. And I just want to. This is the thing I think I have a hard time with now with people. I think people really should start to try to appreciate what we have here. We got a guy who's 37 years old that's still playing a high level. That's arguably, I'll still say it. He's still arguably the best player in basketball. He's definitely in the top 5 still. The way he's playing now individually, he's still a top 5 player. Okay. But just the shots. I mean, I know the shots he took, you know, the knocks he took when he came to Miami, you know, made a decision for Miami. That made sense in a way. I mean, it was still kind of silly, but I understood it because he was leaving his team. The Cleveland team was 7 years ago to Miami. It seemed like the easy move at the time, and then he came back to Cleveland 4 years later, all that. But I feel like we just don't, again, this is something I spoke about even when LeBron's peak was prime. You know, that we don't appreciate the greats we have until they're gone. We did this with Kobe. We did this with a lot of guys. And I wish we took the time to just sometimes not saying not to criticize him because there's there are things LeBron does and says that, believe me, he deserves to be checked with that. No, I'm not even saying that's not even the case. But at some point, we just gotta step back and kind of, you know, should have got some appreciation. You know, the guy's still at a high level, playing at a high level. You know, and I don't know, it just feels uncomfortable with all the criticism he's been getting left and right. Some of it feels like petty, in my opinion, but having 37 to LeBron James, the legend, the GOAT, not one of the GOATs. I won't say the GOAT, but he's one of the GOATs. So, some good big news in pro wrestling. Some great news. Jim Ross, JR, you know, the famous, the GOAT commentator, probably arguably the greatest commentator in history for wrestling, WWE, AEW, name it, WCW, announced that he is officially cancer-free. He actually made his first appearance on AEW Dynamite last night. I didn't watch it yet, but his first appearance since being off about a month to get cancer treatment. He's now announced he's cancer-free. He had 20 treatments. He's cancer-free. Great to hear about that from Jim Ross. Jim Ross, you know, obviously, you know, he's lost a little fastball a little bit, but he's still pretty good. He's still really good. He still does a good job on AEW telecast and whatnot. And I'll be honest with you, he was gone for a month, and I have no problem with Excalibur. I have no problem with Tony Schiavone. I think the guys doing a great job. But Jim Ross is still that guy. Even without the fastball, Jim Ross is still, to me, Anyway, Jim Ross is still the voice. He still has the voice, and that voice still, it's like John Madden. Even when John Madden lost his fastball, because there was a time a couple of years before he retired that John Madden was kind of a little bit out of it, but he's still the voice, and the voice still mattered. So, glad to see Jim Ross is back, cancer-free, proud of him, and hopefully he can stay healthy. He's gone through a lot the last couple of years, man, losing his wife a couple of years ago, took to a tragic car accident and whatnot, and, now he's doing AEW, and he's actually very happy, so. Last thing before I go, and we're going to do more of this on the Take the Rest podcast, especially when we're doing our award show next week. But by the way, as I've been announcing, some of the concepts on this feed, we're going to be moving the Take the Wrestling podcast feed onto this feed officially, starting next week. So, if you're a subscriber to Take the Wrestling podcast, but also a subscriber to this podcast, keep this podcast feed obviously because Take 3 will start going through this feed from now on, start next week. It's a way to keep things streamlined and stuff. But we're doing our award show next week, the first show of 2022, our Take 3 award show. However, I want to go ahead and give away, that's a collective there. I want to give my opinion, my best pro wrestling based on the topics, based on the awards that we have set for Take 3. So I'm going to give this my quick, top wrestlers of the year, tag team of the year, and all that. So, quickly, wrestler of the year for me, it's easy. It's Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, this reign has been fantastic. We're now a year and a half into this reign. He won the belt at SummerSlam 20, but now in last day 2021, and he's still Universal Champion, and it's not slowing down. And honestly, I can see he's going another year, honestly. Roman Reigns has not lost the fastball at all. He's been fantastic. If it's someone you appreciate in terms of doing the small things right, and being the face of the company, Roman Reigns this is by far his best run in his entire career at WWE. So, AEW Wrestler of the Year, in my opinion, this was tough for me. It's tough, but I'm gonna. This is hard. This is the three guys I had here. Kenny Omega, Bryan Danielson, and MJF. Now, Bryan Danielson's only been in the company for 4 months, but the 4 months he's been in the company, he's been fantastic. He's been awesome. He's been awesome in these 4 months in AEW. Kenny Omega obviously had a great reign as champion in terms of in ring. He's always great in ring. I hated the gimmick though, the heel gimmick. I started to warm to it a little bit toward the end, but it was still a little bit annoying. And MJF, man, MJF is climbing. I think MJF will be the world champion by 2022. Let me see my top three. By the way, wrestler of the year earlier, I said Roman Reigns. My top three is Roman Reigns, Big E, and Adam Page. Woman wrestler of the year. Let me see. WWE wrestler of the year. Women's wrestler of the year, should I say? Roman Reigns again, of course. How can you not? Tag team of the year, in my opinion. I get to Lucha Bros. Lucha Bros have been fantastic. Been great matches. Finally got tag titles recently. Got to give them credit for that. Feud of the year. I really enjoyed the MJF CM Punk feud, honestly. I will say also, besides that, the other feud I would say that stood out for me was Edge and Seth Rollins. Has been fantastic as well, too. Roman has two feuds I enjoyed. The Roman versus Brock, which is going on now currently, and Roman against John Cena, which is awesome. Show of the year. This is easy for me. The best show of 2021 in pro wrestling was AEW All Out. Fantastic show. And I might even say it because of the Bryan Danielson reveals or the Adam Cole reveals. Just the fact that show was awesome in general. The show was awesome in ring. Then you add the other stuff too. Awesome show. AEW All Out was by far the best show of 2021. AEW's best pay-per-view so far. And I would say one of the best pay-per-views I've seen in a decade. Just saying. Women's Wrestler of the Year. Overall, I'm going to be Bianca Belair. Although she's slowed down a little bit now. Obviously took the ball from August, but the build from Rumble to Mania, then the title reign from Mania to SummerSlam, it's enough to put over the top, in my opinion. Although Britt Baker definitely deserves some props as well, too. Storyline of the year. Let me see. Storyline of the year, in my opinion. You can go a lot of ways here. This one, Seth and Edge was pretty good. Paige and Omega was pretty good. Cena and Roman, though short, was pretty good. Those are my nominees for this year Pro Wrestling 2021. So, anyway, before we go, here is my son Eli. Come on the show now, and we're going to talk little Christmas stuff. We're gonna talk about Christmas. We're gonna talk about AEW, not AEW. We're talking about WWE Day One preview from his perspective, of course. And who's better, John Cena or The Rock? By the way, the conversation about 15 minutes. My youngest son Logan, who's 4, turning 5 in a couple months, he jumped in the episode. He jumped in on the podcast, so it gets chaotic. It gets a little chaotic. So enjoy the conversation. Okay, it is our annual yearly appearance by my 8-year-old son, Eli Christian. I don't think you came on last year. Did you come on? I don't think you came on the show last year, but because of schedules and all that. What?
COVID-19, of course.
COVID-19 sucks. No, but here join my 8-year-old son, Eli. We do our annual, yearly, his appearance. Although he appears more than a year, but after Christmas.
Yeah, 3 or 4 days ago was Christmas, and I got a lot of cool presents. They were, like, my favorites. And if you've seen YouTube, you've seen me. Just search up Earnestly Speaking Podcast. I'm on it. We used to do this Christmas every day, but also...
No. Hold on. No. You're saying it wrong. We do this every year. We do the Christmas wrap-up podcast between you and I.
And if you guys know today we're also going to be talking about Day 1 preview.
Yeah, Day 1 WWE preview. Day 1 is actually going to happen on Saturday. Hopefully there's no more COVID outbreaks. We had a lot of guys out with COVID, but hopefully it should be okay.
Right. And we're going to be talking about John Cena versus The Rock, because when I was in the car with Dad and Mom, I was talking about who is the best of John Cena or The Rock. They think it's The Rock. I think it's John Cena. And we're gonna upload the John Cena versus The Rock on YouTube, so watch YouTube. And I want you guys to comment down who is better, John Cena or The Rock. Whoever gets the most votes is the greatest of all time of the universe.
Okay, so let's start here first. Christmas. Like you said, it was about 5 days ago. Actually 5 days ago now. Today's Thursday. We're recording on Thursday, so it's actually 5 days ago. So did you get all the gifts you wanted?
Yes, of course. Well, not all of them, but betters.
Yeah. You had a good Christmas. I know you were very happy. You and your brother were very loud and boisterous.
Yep, and also Logan got roller skates, and I didn't think I was going to get them, but instead I did.
Yeah, you got roller skates, that's right. Which, you guys are still working on that.
No, I got it now.
Yeah, your brother's getting pretty good at it, though. He took a couple days, but he's getting the hang of it. I gotta buy you some knee pads, though. Knee pads and some arm pads. Elbow pads.
Arm pads. Elbow. We're gonna need to get a lot of safety stuff. A lot. So Logan can get the hang of it. I can get the hang of it, and just in case, Logan is gonna probably take a Spider-Man helmet, and me, I'm gonna take a WWE helmet if they have them. If not, I'm gonna take a Power Rangers one. Because don't forget, I'm a Power Rangers fan.
You are? You still like that?
I've liked this since I was a kid, guys.
No, I know you liked this as a kid, but you haven't watched it in a long time.
No, that's not true. I watched it this year.
Wait, did we allow you to watch it?
Yes, but then you stopped it.
Why?
I think it was because I was grounded.
How many times have you gotten grounded?
I think like 5 times.
That's a record. It's getting worse every year. Hold on. Let me see what Logan say. Logan, how was your Christmas?
My Christmas is Mario, Holly, and Logan, we're saying, what's Christmas fun? What's Christmas fun?
Was it fun for you, Christmas?
Yeah.
Did you get all the gifts you wanted?
Yes.
You seem very happy.
I think so.
You think so?
Yes. Now that we're done with the Christmas. Day 1. Write down down 6, day 1.
Down 6. Day 1 is...
In streak.
Okay, so hold on. Let me bring up the day 1 roster, the day 1 card. Hold on, buddy. Hold on the mic. Still got one mic, unfortunately now.
Okay. I think you think what, Logan? You think what? I think.
Okay, let's do this quick. Hold on. I'm gonna go for reverse order here. It's actually a very nice card here. Let's go with the first match here on this card. You got Drew McIntyre versus Madcap Moss. Who wins?
Drew McIntyre.
Why?
Because Madcap Moss is very dumb.
You don't like Rick Moss, really?
No, I like Madcap Moss, but he just acts very dumb. The storyline's very dumb of him.
Well, him and Happy Corbin?
No, Happy Corbin's more dumber than Madcap Moss.
That's funny. Okay, I got Drew McIntyre as well too. I think he's gonna be propelled to the top picture at some point next class.
Time.
Hold on. Let Eli and I try real quick, and then we'll hold on, Logan. Sit down a second. You're gonna fall down. Don't fall. Don't hurt yourself. Next match here we have, if we can get this fixed and put up real quick, we have Edge versus The Miz. This is the match I'm looking forward to. This has been a good feud. Who you got in this match? Edge and The Miz.
I don't actually know because I like them both, but if I were you, I would probably choose Edge.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think The Miz losing this match doesn't get hurt at all. I love that Maurice is back. His wife Maurice is back in the picture again, which is cool.
Yeah, true, because Edge is stronger than The Miz, of course. And The Miz, I haven't seen him in a very long time. Don't forget.
All right, this is the match I'm very much looking forward to, Eli. I love both these teams. You have RK Bro, which is Randy Orton and Riddle, the tag champs, versus the Street Profits.
I don't know who to root for either.
Me either.
Two great tag teams, two very professional tag teams, both very great.
Let me ask Logan. Logan, who wins that match? RK Bro or Street Profits?
RK Bro. I don't know who to root for, so I'm not rooting.
I'm rooting for RK Bro because it's the better story right now.
I think I'm agreeing with you.
I love both. I love all four of those guys. I'm going for the better story. So, okay, next match here. Wait, Logan, don't pull the microphone.
I think so.
How about this one, Eli? Liv Morgan against Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship.
Doesn't make sense. It should be Liv Morgan versus... Wait, hold on.
Who?
Sasha Banks.
Yeah, but Sasha's on SmackDown, though. That doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? In any case, don't pull the mic. Don't pull the mic. You're going to break it. In any case, I got Becky win this match.
Hold on. I thought... Who is that girl with the tank? Shotzi. Oh.
Yeah, that's on SmackDown, too. So it doesn't make any sense.
Oh, then I'm rooting for Becky Lynch because I love Becky Lynch a lot.
Yeah, I'm actually liking this his heel run, too, Becky Lynch. This big-time Bex.
And also, I also like Seth Rollins a lot, too, so yeah.
Okay, next one. SmackDown Tag Team Championship on the line. The Usos against the New Day. These guys have put on some classics throughout the years.
New Day. Hold on. Which kind? Is it just Kofi Kingston and Xavier?
Yeah, Big E's another match.
Ooh, I'm rooting for a New Day because of Kofi.
Me too. New Day or Logie? New Day or Usos?
New Day.
Very good.
Okay, next card.
Next card. Let's see what you got here.
Next card.
This is probably have one mic now. Everyone's gonna shut this mic. All right, the big one. Here we go.
The biggest.
Hold on. Let me tell the crowd. Let me tell the audience what the next match is. The champ, Tribal Chief. Wait, let me finish. The Tribal Chief The tribal chief, the head of the table. What's his name?
Well, this is the biggest match, big storylines have faced on before in Fastlane. No.
No, Crown Jewel is Roman Reigns, is Brock Lesnar. Who do you like?
And me, I don't know.
I can see Brock win this match. I don't know. I'm going to pick Roman because it makes sense if Roman keep the title through WrestleMania. But I can see a quick swerve here. Brock gets the title and you know. Wait, who do you got? Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar, Logan?
Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar?
Yeah. Yeah, who are you rooting for? I think I'm going to be rooting for Brock Lesnar on this one. Me too.
I love them both. I love, and this Brock run is really cool. Okay, finally, last match. We have the fatal 4-way match for the WWE Championship between. Let me introduce it first. Okay, let me introduce it first. You know who it is? Who are the four men on this match?
Big E versus Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley versus Kevin Owens.
Who wins?
Big E.
Logan, who wins?
Big E!
I'm rooting for Big E. I think Big E retains the title.
Me too. Because, of course, he's a big fan of Big E. Almost to Macho Man, second greatest man, of course.
To me, right?
Yes. And his most favorite around would be Michael Jackson. Which Michael Jackson.
Oh, hey, shut up. You're not going to say that crap. Okay, last thing before we go, Eli, you want to talk about John Cena and The Rock. Logan, real quick, wait 1 second.
Ouch!
Talk about.
Which is why I told you guys to comment.
They will comment after They will comment after the podcast goes up on YouTube.
I know. Yes, of course, I'm a John Cena fan. Now, let's talk a little bit about them. Number one, let's talk about The Rock. I love The Rock. Personally, I think he's a very tough, great man. Roman Reigns' cousin, the Usos' cousins, the best around.
What's the butt?
But I'm telling you right now, John Cena's way better than The Rock. John Cena's number one greatest. You wanna know why? He's been 16 or 15 or 17 time champion. 16. Of course.
Do you know who else is 16-time world champion? Ric Flair.
Ric Flair's well, he's not better than John Cena.
No, I love John Cena. But to be a 16-time champion, he had to lose 15 times before. Hulk Hogan had held title for 4 years straight without losing. At one point.
Yeah, and he is another greatest of all time. I should have put in Hulk Hogan versus John Cena versus The Rock. Because they're all very professional wrestlers. So I'm going to put in Hulk Hogan.
Alright, so I'll put in between the two, The Rock and John Cena. I'll put The Rock.
That is with The Rock. So, now,
That's it.
since it's not tripled and it's just me and versus Dad, I was John. If you guys like Hulk Hogan, pick Hulk Hogan. Choose your best wrestler, your favorite wrestler of all time, guys. And I hope you guys have a very great big holiday. Happy holidays, guys.
Happy New Year. See you in 2022. And that'll be it. Thank you, guys.
And have a best wish.
Say bye, Logan. Say it. Logan, say it one more time before we go.
Bye.
Bye who? Bye to who? You want to shout anybody? You want to shout out to Grandma? Shout out to Mom?
Shout out to Mom.
Who else? Who else do you love?
Shout out to Grandma.
Who else?
Shout out to Papa.
Who else?
Shout out to Bibi.
Aww. Who else?
Shout out to you.
Me?
Yeah.
Who else?
Shout out to these people that are watching.
Who else want to shout out to? Anybody in the family want to shout out, say hi to? You love them?
I want to shout out for...
He did Mom and Dad already, so family. Any cousins, any aunties, uncles?
I give a shout out to... going to see Auntie Gracie, Uncle Nick, and shout out to my grandma and Uncle P.
And Uncle P.
Which his real name is Parker.
Yeah. There you go. This is what I got to deal with every day.
So I hope you guys have a good holiday. And peace out, y'all.
Yes. Yep, that will do it for the Earnestly podcast. The last Earnestly podcast of 2021. We'll be back with some great shows.
And the end of 2021. And almost Happy New Year in 2 days.
Yes. So we're dropping on New Year's Eve. So, guys, appreciate all the downloads. Appreciate the streams. Appreciate the movement, of course, with 10 years running this thing. We got new concepts coming in 2022. As I told you, we're going to have more. We're going to streamline this feed now to kind of like almost like a network in a sense. We're going to have all the shows I do to be Unfiltered and Football's Awesome. We're announcing a new basketball podcast. We're announcing a new wrestling podcast as well too. In addition to what I do with Take 3 Wrestling, will be all on this feed. This basically Earnestly Speaking Media, Earnestly Speaking Podcast Network. So we got a lot going on. So Eli, anything else?
And Dad, I want you to make me my own new podcast.
You want your own podcast?
Yes, and I'm gonna be the leader. I'm a fan. I'm like a very big fan of.
So what's the name of your podcast?
My name of my podcast are gonna be Eli Speaking Media.
How original. Good night, guys. Happy New Year. See you in 2022.
Just like that.
Good night. Have a good New Year's Eve. Stay safe.